All right. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Monday, May 1st. Yeah, I can't believe we're in May already. Wow, buds. Stop. Um, all right. So, starting off on Monday morning, really the only thing we have, and I'm actually surprised we don't have any more than this. I'm kind of surprised that the bank takeover this morning hasn't kind of moved the markets a little bit more, but I think the market had kind of prepared and factored that in already. I think I think everybody saw it coming last week, right? I think that's what we yeah, let's play with that. So I think that's really what's going on. But anyway, you can see in the last 24 hours, 2, 8, 1, 24 really in reversing back red right now. 53 is a decent amount of movement. 12 a little bit up in the euros case there. And then again, the two biggest movers are 71, 79. And that is more of a yen story than anything else. We haven't seen the reversal there yet. ISM manufacturing numbers coming in at 10. We'll see what the manufacturing looks like. There's potential that this is going to pop up a little bit. That will provide some movement this morning. Again, is it going to be a monstrous amount of movement? Maybe. Like I said, I still think, the bank takeover. I think it's a good thing for stabilization, but what are you doing? All right, go ahead, go get it, go get it. That's really the only news we really kind of have today. Um, you know, Collateral damage, unintended consequences of JP Morgan. I don't know. I mean, that's making these payments, taking over. It's honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world. Um, you know, Obviously somebody like JP Morgan is backed pretty heavily. It's funny if you read the articles about why why the failure happened and everything. It's like, oh, it's because the Fed did this. It's like, well, yeah, the Fed was trying to control, inflation, and that's how they were doing it. And it was just the type of assets that you had, and kind of goes back to planning. Like if you were the reason the bank grew so much was because of the assets they took on, which happens to be the assets that had problems when you have rising interest rates. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You're not going to change it. But having somebody like JP Morgan take it over and all that, I think will be decent. Again, not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Obviously, this week, Feds will not pivot. Again, I don't think there's really anything out there to really make this pivot right now. I think a lot of it is factored in. It's more kind of what happens after, right? I don't think anybody debates what's going to happen. It's what happens next. What are they going to do next is going to be the big question. But that's what we're dealing with. Again, ISM is a pretty decent number. We'll see what it gives. Tomorrow, we have all kinds of things going on. We have a cash rate late tonight. Again, that pause being in there. Um, Remember the pause has been in here for a little bit, right? It's last time there was the pause. This time there's not expected to be any type of a change. So I don't think we're going to get the same type of level of weakness off there. But again, the RBA statement may be what we're really looking for, and some of their data has actually been pretty suspect lately. Euro CPI tomorrow morning early. Again, this is kind of interesting. Again, on a yearly basis, the core number actually is expected to come down, but the overall CPI on a yearly basis is expected to go up. Now, again, they haven't done as much as everybody else, and there's been comments back and forth about how it's gonna, it's whether we don't need to do as much, or we need to do one, or we need to do two. So, we'll see how those come out. That definitely could affect the euro pound in particular, but also the euro dollar over there. And then early morning low is speaking as well, and then we have Jolts data coming in at 9, and Jolts is expected to come down. I mean, last time it was expected to be a little bit lower. It came much lower, which is a good sign, right? And this time it's expected to come just a little bit lower. Now, remember, the unemployment numbers were a little bit off from what a lot of people had forecasted. Again, now are we finally going to get a bigger drop again, or could they be off and could this actually go higher? So, we know a lot of people are laying off, but, we do know that there was a little bit of that cycling, right? Getting rid of the kind of overpriced employees and then bringing in, people back down at lower inflation based levels, right? With earnings. So that'll come in right after we talk tomorrow. So jumping right over into the markets, VIX is slightly elevated over the weekend as we typically see, but really European session, it didn't do much, right? There was really no influence in the European session. What do you want? Here, put it in here. Stop. I'm busy. There. Um, I would expect it, depending on the ISM manufacturing number. Again, it's expected to be below 50, so not a big number. I would expect it to kind of roll back down a little bit, maybe. Again, coming into the 16, again, remember there's not a warehouse with pallets of VIX in there, so it's not a supply and demand based thing. It's more of a fear tool. But right now, the indices are, they're kind of split, right? ES is up a little, NQ down a little, YM up a little, Russell up a little bit more, 0.5. Again, Russell tends to be, the one that's the most volatile with, when we talk about stabilization and interest rate rises. And again, I think at this point, the market's basically got it factored into what the Fed's doing. I don't think there's anything too surprising, but again, if a surprise does come, Russell will be where we see it first. So having it rise up right now is not necessarily the worst. Commodities, for the most part, split. You're seeing gold and silver. Both of them are above their kind of peak numbers. And again, I think that's kind of expected early week. Actually, let's go to the dollar first. Dollar up a little bit, but again, from the news on Friday, we popped down. We retraced all the way back up again to the same sellers and then pulled back down again. 101.70 is kind of that same median level that we've been talking about for a while, right? We were talking about 101.80 last week. Obviously, not down at the lows, not at the 101s, not at the 102s, but we're closer up top. So, not really tons. Commodities, energy is both down. And again, I think that's fine. I'm good with that one. Gold and silver are up a little bit. Silver is actually up 276, which is a decent amount above, kind of high 25s. I think the the speculators are rolling back into that market. There's really nothing kind of justifying this right now, right? Um, you know, yeah, look, gold rebounds as U.S. bank turmoil rolls on before meeting, right? So again, is that all the reason in the world to do this? Is this justified? Nah, not really, not really. But again, speculators market. Over the weekend, there was some data as well, and again, I think this comes back to maybe helping gold and silver a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw it a couple weeks ago. We talked about BRICS, right? How BRICS has taken over from G7 as being a more dominant trade power, having more GDP. Obviously, a lot more people involved in it. Um, I saw an article this weekend talking about how there are 24 other nations now that are signing in to have BRICS create a global currency, a global digital currency. Um, and basically, the whole purpose of this, and BRICS and the 27 or 20, I guess it was 24 other countries, is basically to remove the dollar as the world currency. This is all going back to the same thing of weaponizing the dollar, and for every reason, if it can be weaponized, it cannot be a neutral world-based currency. And I can't say that they are wrong. And if you look who's behind it, it's Russia, China, India, Brazil, South Africa, and then 20 other nations out there. None of them in there. A lot of them are Middle Eastern countries. None of them are huge fans of the United States. And, if BRICS was larger than the G7, which is led by the US already, adding 24 nations to that, there's a lot in there, right? There's a lot in there. And again, this is the repercussions of, you can say what you want about Russia's wrong. And I agree, the invasion is wrong. I understood why Russia did it. But I think weaponizing the dollar was the absolute wrong thing to do. And now there's I don't know, call it a global coalition to have the dollar removed. Again, understand if the dollar is removed, we're in a lot of trouble because a lot of the things that we do, debt to GDP ratio and things like that, is allowed and it keeps our rating higher because it is the world reserve currency, right? The world currency. But if it's not the world currency anymore, those things wouldn't pertain and our ratings and things like that would start to drop because of the debt to credit ratio. So a lot of potential in the US, but again, if the whole rest of the world wants it removed, we already know that there's deposits in many countries where they're dumping dollars and picking in other currencies. So, yeah, not necessarily the leader we'd like to be. Crossing over to Aussie. All right, so Aussie. So we talked about this level late last week, and you can see it came up here late on Sunday night and really just started the base back and forth and form a decent level here. And again, Sunday night, not really the best time for reversals for big money in because they're not really kind of online yet. And you can see it just bounced back and forth. So I'll remove it just so it's easier to see, right? And you can see, bouncing back and forth and bouncing back and forth. I think if anything at this point, again, Sunday night is not always the time for, reversals if it's not like a clean level. I mean, it had been there before. I think at this point, marking that level off in a base is pretty decent. U.S. session, bam, nice little takeoff. And again, kind of weakness in there. We are approaching levels right now. 66, 62 is a level we talked about where we had some basing in here. We had some pullback, a base, and a push down. That's technically what we're playing with right now. Now, the question is, what happens now? Okay. From the 8 o'clock window, it was a quick little burst, right? If you look at the dollar, right? There's a little push down, and we're finding some stabilization. There's some buyers. If this starts to rally back up again, this should also be an area where we see reversals coming in. Now, is this a fib level? Not really. I mean, I guess let's see. If we run it from here down, it's pretty close to like a 50% retracement. Again, it's not the peak here. if you don't use this, if you change this to this level here, because again, this is just sideways. This is not the current trend. This is the current trend. It is somewhat close, and being around 10:30, I think it kind of makes sense. It's driving up right now with weakness 15 minutes before the news comes out. So I think you got to look at this and say, hey, this is kind of setting up for a news-based trade, kind of a reversal here. Now, I would say look out for this base if you are going to take a short in this one. I think you absolutely got to look at 66.40 as being a level where I could take profit. Um, it's only about 25, 30 pips, so it's not super huge. And two things I want to point out. One, there was this nice rally up and a bunch of like a basing here for a long time, and then another punch up. Whenever these punches, you're looking for reversals, but there's also one down here where you could say, hey, listen, there's also this level right here, right? With a nice pushback down to 65, 68, right? So, yeah, a couple different levels to look out for. I would say the way it's setting up right now, again, quick levels of dollar weakness right before news. This tends to be a good opportunity to take this for reversal. So it's got a 10 o'clock news as well as a 10:30 reversal punch up. And again, we're already starting to see it in a dollar a little bit. So I'd say this is probably one, but I'd wait a little bit longer just to make sure it hasn't punched through the top. But right now, this is rather small. What is it? Yeah, it's technically it's only like 6, 7 pips, so it's not a gigantic level. Um, I'd like to see what it does in the next, I don't know, 10 minutes. Stop! Don't touch that, please. Stop. There. Stop. Stop touching. Uh, Stop. You're gonna go down. Don't touch it again. Um, Aussie yen. Now, Aussie yen, you are seeing a little bit of a pop. We can clear a lot of the stuff on this one. You can see here, right at 10:30 reversal time, it hit it and kind of pulled back again. It's like, oh, it's having some problems. Looks like it's gonna break, and it had been there before, right? You can see 1, 2, 3. Stop. Okay. You can see it had been there multiple times. 1, 2, you could say 3, 4. It hit it here and started the base. You're like, oh, it's breaking, and then boom, gave us a Harry Potter on Friday on Sunday night. It actually gapped above, pulled back, and then took off. So nice little trade. This little tiny level is gone now. A lot of this 90 we can reset. Let's pull this here, 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 and here. This level will turn. Oops, we'll turn this one yellow. Pull this. Pull this. Let's pull this. Let's run a new set of fibs on this one. Go there to there. And right now, are you just trying to be obnoxious today? Yeah. What is up with you today? Yeah. Yeah. So right now, here's the bigger. Let's just go to the 4 hour. Probably easiest to explain it there. Here is the last 4 hour window, right? The last 4 hour push down, right? High to low. Actually, it should be high to low here, right? This one didn't pull, but I'll yank that one. There's that pullback there. So that's out. Pull that there. Pull this there. This one good. All right, so we have a level just a little bit above, and again, it's a 4 hour level. It is a 7 to 8 6, so not really into it that much. Uh, Hold on one sec, guys. All right. So with it surging right now, we just need a little bit more out of it. It just needs to push up about another 30 pips up there. Although I don't love 7 8 6 levels, it was a pretty decent level in formation. Base pulled up, one candle top, and then boom, strong push out. I don't like the 78, but there are people out there obviously that do like it. So I think that's a potential area for reversal right now. We started really Sunday was here. Since Sunday night, we're up 123 pips. It's got a daily ATR of 99, so we are beyond the kind of extension point at this point. So yeah, I would say that's probably where we look for reversal. Um, whenever 10:30, we're going to reverse a little bit early, but I'd say look out for that 91.54. Again, high on the curve. Again, 786, so it's not my favorite, but it is a reversal level. Euro dollar. All right, so euro dollar. So we had this from last week, and we talked about this one. Let's just drop it down to 30. Here's the level, and again, it formed at 11 o'clock. We were, we mentioned it. Hey, listen, look for that reversal back out of it. We did it. Reversed back down, came back and used the 110 and pulled back up again. You would have to adjust this from its, kind of confirmed level. There's your confirmed level. There's kind of where you should be with this one now. Now, this is a hard one to be in right now. Reason why is because again, is it a kind of a Monday morning session rollover? Yes, it is. It shot right up at that 8:30 time frame, and we're hitting the level now. But now we're approaching news, and we're up 1 to 2. So at this point, if you are in this trade, right again, easy level to grab from right here. You are up about 14 pips in there. This is one of those ones where I typically would move my stop loss to break even, right? You're about halfway there, 9 minutes before news. You're seeing it kind of pull back down. Maybe bank a few pips on this one. Put it in there at like 3, 4 pips in there. Double the spread or something like that. The spread's 1.7. So, worst case scenario, you make 4 or 5 pips out of this one, right? It covers the cost of the entry and then it makes you a little scratch for the day. Um, it's just one of those ones that you don't want to take it off. Let it go. It's already pulling back. It is obviously a level there. News again, seeing what the dollar's doing, it looks like we're going to get some dollar strength rolling back in because of the news. That would lead this to complete anyway. And again, news should just act as a catalyst, getting you there faster. The only thing I don't like is that we are pulling down so fast in the hour beforehand. But again, typically what happens is you see dollar weakness, and then once the dollar session opens up on Monday, the dollar strength rolling back in, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. It was the 9 o'clock window that it started pulling back in, so it's doing the right thing right now. It's just that we have to be a little bit extra cautious because as ISM manufacturing number. Okay. Um, look, here you go. It signals expansion for the first time in 6 months. Right. I love when they do despite expansion in territory, as inflation continues apparent, the rise of output is strength and production increasing at fastest pace since 2022. The uptick in demand is centered on the domestic market as new imports, nonetheless, anticipation. Yeah. So again, that's not horrible, right? Gotta love when they do that thing. Yeah. So technically, that is all positive for the dollar, right? Based off that data. So we'll see if we get the push down when the ISM number comes out in a couple minutes. But again, makes sense. Euro pound. So Euro pound, we were looking for a couple different levels here. This one we did have some hiccup on Friday. It hit it and then bounced and then came back down and bounced again. And we just kept this on there to see kind of what it did. In the other direction, you can see it did base in there, but not enough that I'd be looking at to where like, hey, listen, let's take the Harry Potter on there. So I think right now this level's still good. Yes, it based here. Yes, it's basing right here, but with this backstop below it, I'm going to remove it. We don't necessarily need it. I'm going to count this as a 78.6 hit, even though it just graced the top of it. You can see it came over and it grabbed the same level that we had before. I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to leave the top one. We're going to run from top down. Mm, find this level there. I'm good with this one. Yeah, 8 pips. That's not horrible in this one with a 44 pip ATR. Let's mark that one off. Right. Again, wedge in between these two levels, people will be looking the short, but I like the formation. I like the shape of that candle. I like that it pushed down and then came back up and didn't go as high. So it's giving us one of these, right? Giving us one of those tops. Um, and then again, base, I like that one. Hmm, retail sales? 7. So interesting. German retail sales, and again, it should be higher than this. Obviously, retail sales in Germany is a very, very important piece of that. It's expected to be really good. If it doesn't come in as good, that's kind of a little bit of a failure there, very, very quickly, right? And again, I'm wondering if this is too positive, and maybe this is a little bit too positive here as well, right? May not be, may not be. Um, I think right now, I think obviously that CPI number is important. We're looking for that 25. Hmm. Let me see what this one does. I like the 88.19. Or actually, this one's the 88.20. I like that level there. Big fan of that one. I like that one. Um, Wonder if this just slowly deteriorates back down again, and this becomes a takeoff point here. Oops. Wonder if we see this. Again, that would be year of strength. So it's gone up 32. That'd be 1.5 times its movement for a day. Yeah, I think watch that one for tomorrow. It's not a today trade, but that could be a nice little news pop here. And again, maybe it's better in the Aussie dollar or the pound. I'm sorry, euro dollar, euro yen. Maybe a better play on that one, right? Stop! Ow! Ow! Why are you being obnoxious today? Okay. So yeah, it's probably more tomorrow. All right, let's track this one higher. Again, finally broke through, but look at this. Friday and then Sunday, right? Sunday we opened above, we pulled back, and again, nice continuation trade right there, right? Little Harry Potter from Friday to Sunday, right off that 150, right? Right off 150. So let's pull that. Let's pull this. Where do we go with this one now? Look at this. The 50 is now lined up, so I do think that that's a decent level there. Now that we have the new top, that's a decent base with a nice little Harry Potter below that one. So we'll keep that one for if and when it does come back. And again, it will one day. I don't know when, but we'll leave that one there. Overall, and again, this is the inflation data. Fortunately, right now we're just not getting any help from the yen. There's probably a pullback in here, but again, with a new high being put in, I don't really necessarily have a reversal. You could do the same thing where you have a red, green, red confirmation below and pull back. But right now, unfortunately, even if where it is right now, you got 40 pips before you're running into buyers. And look, they've been stabilized twice. And if it goes below that just a little bit more, the 150 is sitting there. So, you know, I know that, excuse me, I know that's 83 pips to the downside, but I'll mark this one too. I'm good with that one. Yeah, I would expect this to pull back. Again, we did spend a lot of time there with a nice little hiccup. If we start basing in here, I think pull the trigger to go south. Let's see, is there enough room? 18.7. How much room do I need? 1 to 3 is right there. It's a little deep. It's a little deep, but that's not necessarily the worst trade. 18 for 55 in the other direction. And again, I do like the one down here as well, the nice pop. And I think this one actually has the ability to run even farther down if we can get some help. But again, we need something. The yen needs to help us here a little bit. We can get some European weakness absolutely coming in here. But right now, again, I'm not looking to put a top in. I'm looking for a base and a reversal more than anything else. So obviously high in the curve. Pound dollar. Actually, you know what? Before we do pound dollar, let me see what dollar is. Dollar rallying back a little bit right now. We'll see if we get the spike on that. How much time? Pending. Here we go. Let's see. I love this pending thing. This is so much better than having to keep clicking on that little round, the green circle. Pending is so much better. Like you see this one, it's popped up like 3 pips, 4 pips, 5 pips. Oh, there you go. Better than expected. Let's see what prices look like. Ooh, look at that. Above 53. Above 53. So technically, there you go. There's your spike up in the dollar. So let's see. There you go. Trade is out. Trade is out. So, see, yeah, we said that it was probably going to be, it looked like it was going to be good, and it was already pushing through. You put your, you put your stop in, and boom, and look at it, look at that, just magically bump right off at 110. Stop. That's it. You're going to go down. You touch it one more time, you go down. No more. Just go to sleep. You're tired. So yeah, so that one was out. That was an easy grab. Again, in the overnight session rollover here at 9 o'clock at this level, and again, nice push to the downside. So helped out by news. So we're good there. So pound dollar. All right. I think this one's good too. I think there's a decent little basing level right here. I didn't really leave in an explosive bit of nature there, right? It kind of came down and formed a base and kind of hit it again, left, and then kind of hit it again, and now we're coming back down again. And we know we got room to run on this one. So this is just a kind of reversion back down to the kind of the origin of Friday's move. It looks something like this. Again, the news we just got is more based off of dollar strength, right? It's more of a dollar strength based news. Ideally, you want to get out here. Yep, just close your eyes, bud. There you go. Along those lines. You know what? Just gonna get him his oh, like, what's wrong with Miss Rachel? There you go. I don't know if you guys know, like if you watch YouTube, obviously I'm on YouTube a lot with the little kids. We were watching yesterday's game highlights, and I have to slow it down. If you guys aren't on YouTube a lot, YouTube has a playback speed function, so I like slow it down to like 0.5 and 0.25. I didn't realize that it transferred over from videos. I'm like, oh god, why is Miss Rachel like, what's wrong with her? She was speaking at 0.25% speed. So that would be why the kid was freaking out. So yeah. Anyway, I think this is a decent one to the downside. Again, it's just going along with what news is, and kind of, I don't think it's the worst of trades. Obviously, the euro dollar trade triggered a little bit early, but again, at the session open, that's what you tend to see. This one, same thing. It popped up, and then that 9 o'clock window, you can see the reversal back again. So decent trade. Pound yen, it's just a little bit higher than where we were. 172. This one looks just like the euro. I mean, again, continuing to push higher. This one is not putting a new peak in, so this may be a top. And again, I'm going to draw this one and just put it as yellow. I'm not going to automatically say, hey, listen, it's a short here. But we really need some help from the yen. It's just very, very difficult to get any help from the yen right now. Look, you can see, remember we talked about gold and silver rallying, being at 2000 and high 25s? It's back down at 1988. So nice smash to the downside. That pre-movement put it high and then smash. But I do like the fact that um, again, down 2.25%, but we're still 230. Anyway, we're high on the curve. We're looking for a bearish top. We don't have it yet. Funny, if you use the red, green, red right there, there's your close below. There would have been a nice little run. Not a 1 to 3, but you can see again those kind of trend reversals. Where it grabbed it, it absolutely should have. Again, look at all the basing. You can see right here that we had all this basing in the overnight, and then again, kind of a little bit of a Harry Potter trade Friday. Open Sunday above, came back and grabbed the level, and then took off. Your 1 to 3 was obviously in a Sunday opening print, and then it used that again this morning. It used it at actually 5:30 this morning. 6 o'clock. Yeah, 6 o'clock. We grabbed it and used it a second time. So it's been used twice. When we see this again, we know that we have the potential for a short here, but again, we need yen help, and God knows when yen help is going to come in. I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be this week kind of thing or not. Dollar CAD. All right, dollar CAD. So this one also drove straight down into an area of buyers. Right, there's buyers right there. Went a little bit deep. This one's hard. Again, this one should rally back to the top side. Again, we'll pull this one off. That was from last week. All right. Let's see. Pull these two profit targets off. Why is that? Hasn't figured out yet that his thumbs move the screen around. No, we're not going to change the sound. Yep, stop, please. Just hold it. If you want to watch it, just sit there, please. Okay. Take your thumbs off the screen. Um, So yeah, dollar CAD. I'd like this one to go a little bit higher, although the news for manufacturing is good. Should give a little bit of a pop back up in oil again. Um, so that's always a decent thing. So we'll see where it goes. Again, we're high on the curve. We're looking more for shorts than anything else. I was trying to see if the morning reversal was at a 23, and it wasn't. It went up higher. There's nothing over there. Not really much to use on that one. It looks like that was just a morning kind of flip. So yeah, right now, if we are able to punch much lower, there is a zone here that's been hit a few times, but it barely has been breached at all. So, not the worst of levels, right? Not the worst of levels. Um, don't really like much on this one. Bearish, but no real good setup on it. Dollar Swiss, again, U.S. news. 9 o'clock again. Overnight weakness. U.S. market opens. We start to rally back up again. So it's doing what it should. This was the 1, 2, 3, 4 hit on the bottom. We didn't pull back. It did grab the bottom section. I've adjusted this one twice. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I guess we'll do there. That short is out. Um, this zone up top, I would say is obviously you need to respect it, but look, push deep, push deep, push deep. Nice punch out of it, but it's been there a few times. It's got to chop through this, and this to get all the way back up top. It's got another 30 pips to go. Um, 30. Hmm. Yeah, we got to chop through all this junk here. So again, decent level there, right? Push, boom, boom. It should hit one more time. Um, that would be 33. Probably something. Probably something there. We want to pull something off of that. There is a zone there. Again, with it popping off of that news and getting close to 1030, there's probably a short in there. Wish it was a little higher up. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a short in here. I feel like there's going to be one there, especially with having the problems now. But it would be like 11 o'clock, 11:30 ish hit on there with kind of a pullback down. So it would be is dollar session plus good news coming up, and then profit taking coming back in to bring it back down is what that hit would be. It's only 7 pips, so it's not the biggest of levels. Nothing super crazy, but could be worse. Dollar yen. Let's see. So dollar yen, we're up at 137. So we talked about how the yen is not really helping itself. I pulled this off last week. So let's pull this up. We'll do it from. I should use this one, but I'll use this one here. 50's raising, so it looks like we can probably go here. So here's the problem with this one. 137 is not super helpful for Japan. Um, question is, will we get an intervention this week? Can we get the 138, and will the intervention come in at 138 or like one like there, right? 137.96. I just think we have moved so far from the 133 in a week all the way up to 138 ish almost, right? 500 pips in, what are we talking here? This was Friday, right? Yeah. So from Friday's kind of pop down at midnight, Friday at midnight till now, we're at 380 and we go up to here, we're at that 460, 450 range. So can this pair do this? Yes, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Does it start to hurt? Did we hear before last time we were at 130? Remember 130 was bad, then 135 ish. 138 with no mention of an intervention is a little bit rough. So I'm kind of looking for something to come up here. And again, an intervention is that fundamental change that we really can't prepare for. We know that it's coming, but we don't know the exact number that they pulled the trigger, and it's typically hard to kind of do much with it after that. Um, mm, mm, yeah, just definitely a hard. It's kind of a hard spot, right? Definitely a hard spot. Mm, yeah, playing with this right now. So again, a hiccup here at 137.50, and then obviously the top, the 130. We drew this line, but we know we got a zone right there. 80, and it's only half an 18. It's only half a daily ATR to go higher. Yeah, I mean, oof. It's there. It's there. I think you need to be really careful with this one. I feel like this one definitely has shorting potential. But again, I like to see it come higher, and I think the catalyst will be an intervention. Right? I think that'll be what it is. But again, either way, supply and demand base 137.90. Crude. Look at this U.S. Open. This is what we typically see. Sunday night goes down. We base in the overnight. U.S. market opens. We love our oil. Boom, pop up, and look at the base that it grabbed. Um, there's your grab. Um, Again, there's the 23 of the short. We pulled back down again. That's what it grabbed onto. Yeah, we talked about coming. We talked about coming topside, getting 76. So this is out. Let's pull this across. I still do like this zone here. It doesn't line up with anything yet. We're gonna pull that and put it right there. Right now, I would say the way that looks like with this pushing back lower, it did find some buyers, but I think this one probably comes back down. I think right now, target wise, we look at it down here. Looks like 74, 74.16. I'm okay with that one. I think that's fair. Yeah, it's a decent level. Any of the 23s in there. If for some reason we do come up and break, and again we got to chunk through this, I think the next place is 77.22. 77.22. All right, natural gas. Man, this is so ugly. We talked about a retracement on Friday, right? We talked about the pop, and again, there's the retracement. Went through, went through, went through, went through, and then Sunday happened here, just continued to deteriorate. US market came online, a little bit of a pop, went back right to the same base, and now it's pulled back down again. So for this, yeah, again, I think block this section off right here. I think right now this becomes a target to the downside. Look for 229 to be hit. We know we got another level right below it, but right now, again, look at all the basing right here, right? Bottom, bottom, base, base below, base above, base in there again. So it really likes this level. Let's pull these off from last week. And again, look at this. This coincides basically almost exactly with that level, right? That little Harry Potter. So let's pull that just to clean this up. Again, this one popped above and used it to the downside. Let's clear this. Do I have anything there? Oops. 250. There it is. 250. All right. So yeah, so that's where we're looking at right now. Again, if you are still short, I think 229 is the level. Will we take this one? It had a decent push off of it here at 8 o'clock this morning, but again, U.S. market. Kip, stop. Hold it in your hand or you're done. You can go sit on the floor. Here, right here. You don't need to hold it. Just sit right there. Don't touch. Stop. No more. Unfortunately, Jen's play died, so he's using my phone, which scares me because he broke it the last time, or not last time, but he broke it recently. Um, yeah. So I think look for 229 as a target. It's been there a few times. Nice little pop, but be cautious. There's some buyers in there set by a gap below it. People start looking for the gap, and that is a 50% retracement level. So it looks like 224 will be an area where we have buyers coming back in. Just be a little cautious with it. Gold. Look at that. Tell me that that's not manipulated, right? 8 o'clock, right above, one hand up top, waiting for the news, and then drop all the way back down to that same level. So, yeah. Overall, I think, again, we're still looking for probably down here. If you are short, make sure you have some profit targets set on this one. Again, your two profit targets for the short on this one should have been here, is one, and then number two is down here. So it looks like right now we're looking for this to come down and touch 1979.29. Again, we noted earlier that they're both quite high, being above 2025. And you can see this one is, again, $11 or $13 down below. I think it makes sense. Again, the data was strong today. And all week we've been talking about, or, looking for shorting opportunities this one. Every time we see a pop, we look for a short, particularly if we're going to use 2000. Silver, same exact way. Look at this. Tell me this is not manipulated. 8 o'clock, straight up in the air, 9:30, all the way back down to the move, the origin of the move. So I think today, look for 25 to be a potential target. There was a base here, but at this point, we've kind of mirrored the bottom. So we should be able to kind of slowly chunk back down to 25. But that's hysterical. Was there like, no, there's nothing. Look, there's not even anything in here, right? There is a CAD, right? Nothing here. We got this manufacturing PMI, again, holding above. Yeah, look at that. Nothing at 8, yet magically at 8 o'clock. Whoop. Just to speculate, all the way up to 25.90, and now we're 70 cents cheaper. So look at that. But yeah, I think we come back down to 25. It deserves to be below 25. But man, talk about that manipulation, right? 530 is right there. Yeah, so 530 we pushed all the way up just to come all the way back down in one candle. Poor speculators. Poor speculators, right? We even said, hey, listen, this is speculators getting ahead of themselves. But yeah. So again, fair markets, right? Fair markets, right? That much moving to 8 o'clock for absolutely zero reason, just in time for the news to come out, which happened to be great for the dollar. Right back down again. Yeah, there's some people that lost some money on that one. Fun, fun, fun. All right, let's go. Indices. Let's see. Has the VIX moved at all? Yeah, it's down a little bit, which is fine. Dollar doing exactly what it should have. Again, what happened the hour beforehand? Straight down in time for the news. 9 o'clock again. This is pretty typical for though. Again, 5:30 it reversed back down. So it looks like 3, 5, 9, and now we're pushing back to the 102 figure. So kind of doing what it's supposed to do. So ES, let's see what we have for ES today. So Sunday. So I mean, yeah, there's an overnight base right there. Right? There's your confirmation. There's your 9:15, 9:30 is right there. So yeah, this triggered. Let's see what we got here. Did we go to the full profit target already? 1 to 3 is right there. There's 307. So that's actually beyond. So yes, there's one. Right? Overnight base Sunday night confirmed at 4:30 in the morning. And again, it sat in here at 8:15, 8:30. You could have gotten into the trade. Your 9:30 candle is the green right here as it was leaving on the other direction. Would I have been concerned about the top? There's a little bit in there, but the fact that it drove down the hour beforehand, not as much because we knew we had confirmed buyers in there. So, was it a little risky? Yeah. But for the most part, all it was doing was taking a peek right above, which is kind of where you want the trap set. And that's where you would expect it. So, yeah, good one there. NQ. What do we have for NQ here? That was late last night, but that one touched. So again, at 8 o'clock, it was already out. So the next confirmed level is down here. Right. And that was actually from Friday. So no, not really. Top side, could we have gotten anything? could have stretched it and said, oh, right there, right there. But what did it do? It held, so it didn't really tell us anything between 9 and 9:30. It just kind of shot back and forth. So it didn't really give us a direction. So yeah, not an entry on this one because again, once this broke through at 8, we lost the ability to go long from it. What do we got here? So it looks like the yeah, one hit, 8:15. Yeah, look, 9, 9:15. So two reds and then 9:30 here. So 9:15, 9:30. So yeah, so this would have triggered. 1 to 3 is right. 3.03. So there you go. 2 for 3 in entries, 2 for 2 for full profit targets. And then let's look at the Russell. Yeah. Unfortunately, as much as this one popped, if there was your level of basing and there was your touch, the 8 o'clock candle broke through. So yes, even though this one took off and you can see it's well beyond the 1 to 3, unfortunately, the 8 o'clock broke through, meaning we had to be bumped down and we don't have a confirmed level in the overnight. So yes, the 9 and the 9 was down, the 9:15 based in this level. Could you have traded this one? Sure. If you're going to be, kind of a little bit more aggressive, you could have said, "Hey, listen, there's a base here. We had a nice pop at 8:30. We came back down right before the news popped, and we were sitting there at 9:15. You know, is that kind of a confirmation signal? It is. So you could have taken this, but it's not really an opening print. We're looking for a confirmed level. It's one of those ones that it's like, yeah, hindsight, yes. Would you have taken it? You could have. That's what it looked like, right? You put a new base in right here, you pulled back up, and then again, the confirmation came through. So could you have traded that one? Sure. And again, you would have been successful. So, I would say YM was the only one really. Was it YM? Yeah, YM was, I'm sorry, not YM, NQ. NQ was the only one. You can see right here the movement, the 9, the 9:15, the 9:30, none of them moved. There was no movement towards a direction. That was the only one that was really crappy. I mean, ES drove down ahead of time, boom, took off. NQ, nothing in those 3 candles. YM drove down into the level. And Russell also drove down, but you had to use the new level. So, take it for what it's worth. But again, definitely something there at the open. Um, not the worst stuff out there, right? Not the worst stuff out there. So, all right. It looks like we were way early today. Let's see. 25 is silver slowing down. Nope, silver's not slowing down yet. Gold not slowing down. Profit target 1 is in. Oil again turning back from that level. Natural gas also going lower. So it looks like they're all moving in the right direction. VIX again continue to deteriorate. We're going to break through this gap. And again, the dollar going back to that 102. So yeah, they look like they're moving. So all right, well, we're a little early today, so that's fine. Again, it happens. There wasn't as much out there. You're finally seeing some movement roll in, and again, the dollar strength coming in, helping that dollar yen pair. That's actually the leader on the board now. And again, you're seeing a little bit of movement, and again, all of it was, again, dollar strength Monday morning, not necessarily a surprise. So, don't forget tomorrow morning. Let's take this. Let's move this. Don't touch the keyboard. I know you want. I know you want to do it. Obviously, the cash rate here, the rate statement is going to be the most important thing. Being an overnight position, again, checking in the overnight. With the early morning 5 a.m. CPI, I think this actually could give us a really nice setup as well as the 720. So, big one is obviously going to be U.S. JOLTS. Again, this is one of the big things that they said have been driving this. We have approximately 5 million people looking for jobs and 9 million, almost 10 million jobs out there. That's leading to inflation in the jobs market, and the jobs market's been a problem for a while. So. We'll cover that first thing tomorrow morning. So with that, let's go ahead and do our giveaway. Back up to 5. I just want to say Ernest and Neuro, Will and Debbie had it really, really easy on Friday, right? It was 50-50. Will said, congrats, Debbie, and then Will won. So he was a little extra passive aggressive and he still won. I'm just saying, a little passive aggressiveness won him. And yeah. All right, so let's close this down. Winner of today's drawing is Marina. Takes it today with 1. Look at that. So back to back, Debbie and then Marina. There we go. Let's mark it off. Starting off the week. Whoops, where we at? Leaderboard. Here we go. Let's give her 25. All right. There we go. All right, starting off strong. Ladies take it. Only 14% chance too, but nobody winning big this week. So, all right. Have a good Monday. Good trading to everybody. Watch those setups. Like I said, some decent setups out there. Again, I think the yen is due for an intervention this week at some point. Wouldn't be surprised if that sucker goes back down to the 136, 135 range. I'm kind of surprised we haven't heard anything really at all. Right? I'm kind of shocked we haven't. Um, yeah, yeah. Look, 138. Here you go. Targeting 138. So yeah. So with that target, again, profit taking, are we there now? Let's see. Nope, not yet. 137. So it's a little profit taking coming in. So all right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Guys and girls, tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll catch you then. Everybody good trading today. Hopefully, again, you're in the part of the country that is finally drying out. It's been so wet here. It rained again, 8 out of 9 weekends, counting Fridays in Maryland. We've had rain. So tons of fun. Everyone, thank you again. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.